Hello there everybody, Sam's Trains here, welcome back to the railway and welcome back to another review. Today I'm going to be taking a look at a fascinating and unique piece of rolling stock from Dapol. Today's wagon is a tanker wagon and I love this thing already, just wait until you see it. So the tanker is this, it is the Dapol Silver Bullet ICA, and just look at the finish on this thing. This is the one and only loco or piece of rolling stock or anything that I own that actually has a finish like this. It's just a beautiful shiny chrome finish. And also the value for money is pretty darn good. There's an RRP for this of £37 and I bought mine from Derail's Models for £30.55. Now when I was looking at these wagons online I thought, well, that's an okay price, maybe a bit on the high side for a bogey wagon. But the online listings do nothing to show the size of this wagon. I was quite surprised when this arrived and it was such a large wagon. So yet again, it appears that this is a fantastic value product from Dapol, yet again, which is wonderful. And if I can find an affiliate link to this product, I will include it down in the description. But for now, we're going to get this thing out. Fingers crossed this will be one of Dapol's high quality, good running, nicely produced wagons. Hopefully it won't derail or anything crazy like that. But let's enjoy this thing, let's see what it's like. Here we go. So these ICA wagons were actually produced in France, which is fairly interesting, I didn't know that. They were built between 1989 and 1990, and it's easy to see obviously how they got their nickname due to the sort of chrome finish and the shape as well, slightly bullet-like I suppose. And the ultimate irony is that these are not particularly dignified wagons in real life. Obviously, right here in the box, this looks like an incredibly shiny, beautiful wagon, but in reality, they were actually used to transport China clay slurry, and in fact, they don't look too good these days. They're very rusty looking, and they look like they've absolutely had it. And interestingly, Dapol are producing some models that look like that as well. I think it's an extra £3, but for that, you get the sort of rusty finish, the weathering and such, and they look a lot more like the real Silver Bullets do. So it's quite cool that you've got the choice to get something like that, although like I say, it's a little bit more expensive, not a lot though. Anyway, the version I have is on the end of the box here, so this is 4F-027-020, it's number 3387789810-6. Sorry for reading that out, I shouldn't have done that. 00 gauge Silver Bullet ICA Muir is that, and this supports a minimum curve radius of R2, and as always I don't have anything tighter than R2 on my layout, which means that this should run faultlessly. So let's pull out this wagon and see what it's like, shall we? Not had this out of the box yet. Got to say, it does feel quite light, so whether or not there's any metal construction on this, I'm not sure. For 30 quid it would be nice after the turbot, which was largely die-cast. We know Dapol are capable of that, so yeah, fingers crossed, although I don't hold much hope because of how light it is. But there it is, looks absolutely amazing. I mean, it's just worth getting one for the finish alone. Crazy, really nice. I don't know how they do that finish incidentally. Okay, we've got a detail bag and it's looking good. So we do have some cosmetic screw-link couplings to fit. Always lovely to have that option. And then you've got some vacuum fittings as well, which you can put onto the buffer beams if you want to. Come on then, let's have a look at this thing. Let's pull this out. Ooh, it's a bit tough. Oh, I think it might have been taped. Oh, that's a bit of a trap, isn't it? That's the first time I've ever had a package like this that's been taped up. Oh, come on, I need rusty. This is no good. Why do they do that? There's literally no chance of that coming apart in the packaging. Because there's a box around it, obviously, but there we go. Okay, we're in. Silver Bullet, ahoy, here we go. Oh, wow, my word. Look at that. How do they do this? There was a process that was used on toys many years ago, but it was sort of terrible for the environment or something, so I heard. So yeah, how they do this, I don't know, but it sure does look good. Let's lift this out. Okay. Alright, so yeah, it's fairly lightweight and it is clearly just a plastic construction, which is a pity, but then again, it's only about 30 quid, so you can't really say fairer than that, can you? That said, the level of detail looks really, really good. There are lots of separately fitted parts. I think the decoration and the finish is obviously the key feature with this, and obviously that looks fantastic as well. So yeah, overall, this thing looks pretty decent on first glance, but let's get it up against my white background. We'll take a closer look and see what the level of detail is really like. All right, should be fun. Let's take a look. So there it is, the Dapol Silver Bullet wagon up close and personal for you, and I do love this thing. It's such a head turner, isn't it? It's one of those items that you just can't help but stop and look at, and obviously if you've got a model railway and you're exhibiting it and you want people to stop and look, this is exactly the sort of rolling stock that will achieve that. On the downside, it is extremely light. It weighs in at just 86 grams, which is actually 17 grams lighter than the Hatton's Warwell wagon, and that wagon is slightly shorter and it doesn't have upper bodywork of any kind. So this is very light, and of course the reason is the all plastic construction. We don't have any die cast on this, which on the one hand is a pity because you've got wagons like the Turbot, which actually had a very good weight for its size because of its die cast chassis, and of course that was far cheaper than this wagon. But then again, this is a very large wagon, it's very complex in its decoration and the separately fitted parts, and it was only 30 quid, so I don't think it's a rip-off or anything, but yes, it is quite light. Let's take a look at some of the detailing then. So obviously the chrome finish is done to a very, very high standard. It is perfect. It's also a fingerprint magnet, so as much as you want to touch the bodywork and caress it, well, maybe that's just me, it's probably a good idea to lift this thing with the chassis so that you don't get your fingerprints all over it. And yet they've still applied some decoration to the tank. You can see we've got the logos there. There's some, looks like some sort of warnings on the side. Yep, all sorts of print work. The plastic chassis has got quite a bit of decoration on it as well, as you can see. I can't read what most of this says. Operating pressure, 3 bar. And then you've got this panel, which has got all sorts of decoration on it. Very, very good to see. And then the underframe has got all sorts of different separately fitted parts. You've got turning wheels in different colours. You've got little ladders which are separately painted. On the underside you've got little, what look like pressure tanks, and there's little metal bits of wiring connecting them together. Similarly, on the top of the wagon you've got this very nicely produced platform on the top, which has all of the separately fitted metal handrails, and of course you've got ladders going up the sides as well. Perhaps they're not quite as nicely produced. I don't know, maybe the tools are starting to show their age a little bit there because they're not 100% finely produced, but that's really nitpicking because you have to look close to be able to see that. And then on the one end on the left hand side from where we're looking at it, you've got another walkway which has got the metal texture on the ground. These handrails on the end are, you know, they look quite fragile, but they're actually quite sturdy, so as long as you're careful those are going to be fine. And then below there you've got the buffer beams which do have the coupling hooks pre-fitted to them already. And then you've got these square buffers, which are quite common, I suppose, on rolling stock of this era, but they're not sprung or anything like that, which again is a shame. You know, it is a feature that excites me for some reason. But then again, this is not a super expensive wagon, so it's fair enough that 1 or 2 details are not here. Then you've got these couplings which are sprung. It's the sort of DJM type of coupling, which might help to date the model, I suppose, but they seem fine. Hopefully there won't be any problems with those couplings. And then here you've got the bogies, which are just moulded. I don't think there are any separately fitted parts on those bogies, but they look the part, don't they? And then you've got these metal wheels, which look nice, although weirdly they do have plastic axles, and I can see some gaps between the axles and the wheels, which suggests that maybe the gauging might be off a little bit, so I will have to look out for that when I test the gauging later on. Hopefully that won't be a problem though. Okay, so there it is, the Silver Bullet. Yeah, it's a really, really nice looking wagon, probably one of the nicest I've got. For me, it was an easy decision to go for the chrome finished version, but of course if that's not your cup of tea, if you don't like the finish or you'd rather have a more realistic one, Dapol have got you covered there as well, which is fantastic. For now though, let's do some performance tests. I will check that gauging, we'll do some free rolling tests and whatnot, and see how this thing performs. So the good news is that the gauging is okay. Well, it's a little bit tight, but no tighter than other manufacturers. So 14.5, 14.6, that shouldn't be causing any problems on points and curves and such. And the even better news is that the Silver Bullet is insanely free rolling, like record-breakingly so. It got all the way down to the bottom of Gordon's Hill and even onto the curve at the bottom. I don't think I've seen any other coach or wagon or anything ever do that before, so it's very, very free rolling indeed. Here is my setup. I've chosen a Bachmann Class 37, just seems like a reasonable enough choice for the loco for today. And then I've got a few other miscellaneous wagons, and they are of course bogie based to match the tanker. Right, so let's have a go at putting the tanker in as part of a train. Now we know it's incredibly free rolling, look at that. So yeah, no problem at all in terms of friction, that's very good indeed. Let's back up the 37 then, unless it's going to couple by itself. No, I thought it was going to roll and couple without me touching it. Very free. So that's a good sign. I do have quite a few older Dapol wagons that just won't couple no matter what I do with them. So the fact that that coupled first time is a good sign. Can we get a full house with the other one? Yes, excellent. So that's one fairly typical Dapol downfall that this tanker is not guilty of. I suppose the next one is performance around curves and on points. So let's get this thing running around the track and see how it handles it. Fingers crossed it will be fine. Lovely 37. I always get tempted to film the loco when I'm doing a rolling stock review. But yes, must remember not to. Okay, so that's the difficult part, that's the S-bend. And the tanker has done that without any problems. And wow, doesn't it look absolutely amazing? On the layout, the way it catches the light, unbelievable. So there you have it, that is one complete lap from the Silver Bullet tanker without any problems at all, which I'm really pleased to be able to report. So before we get to the ratings, obviously this tanker is absolutely fit for purpose. Yes, the wagon isn't the most detailed in the world and it is fairly lightweight, but this is all reflected in the price, which means A, you could probably afford a fairly decent rake of them. You know, you could get 6 or 7 of them for the price of an expensive locomotive, which is great. And also, because they are quite lightweight, you could haul quite a lot of them with not all that much of a monstrous locomotive, which is another pro. I personally would have preferred the bit of extra weight. However, the thing does seem to be performing on my track, which, as we know, is a worst case scenario. So that's a very good sign for your layout, which is almost certainly going to be better than mine, and therefore should also handle one of these tankers without any problems. Yeah, I'm impressed. For 30 quid, this is a very lovely piece of rolling stock, and I'm a huge fan. Right, let's try that horrible backwards over the points test. Now bear in mind, I'm only looking to test the performance of the Silver Bullet today, so if some of the other rolling stock doesn't play ball, and I have the feeling some of it won't, then I'll just take it off so that we can test the Silver Bullet fairly on its own. But again, this is very much the worst case scenario, backwards over a point, and a very tight point at that. So here we go, let's try it at a modest speed. Seems to be going fairly well. Yep. Oh, okay. Well, I needn't have put the little caveat in there about the other rolling stock derailing. Yeah, very nice. Okay, forwards. Well, the forwards test is easier than the backwards test, so hopefully nothing will fail this. Famous last words. No, that's the Silver Bullet, okay. So that pretty much confirms that performance is fine. And here they are then, the ratings for the Dapol Silver Bullet. So the level of detail I've given 4-star. Yes, obviously I've seen more detailed wagons, and certainly Dapol's latest designed wagons do have a higher level of detail than this, and they've got sprung buffers, etc, etc. But this is still good, particularly for the money. The decoration's really good, the finish on that tanker is wonderful, and don't get me wrong, there is still a good level of separately fitted detailing. You've got all of the handrails and such. Yeah, it looks great, it's a good looking model, that's for sure. Performance, as far as I'm concerned, there are no downsides here whatsoever. It's an excellent performer, very free rolling, no issues with the coupling. It just does as it's supposed to, so there's no opportunity to deduct any marks at all from there. The quality, well, that's not quite true with the quality. I've given this 3.5 stars because it is very lightweight, and it is a pity about the largely plastic construction, particularly on the chassis. Then you've got the fact that 1 or 2 handrails are quite fragile and prone to bending, and in fact some of mine were slightly bent out of the box. And you've got some minor details like the ladder, which was not 100% formed properly, but those are all very minor. The main reason for knocking off stars here is just the plastic and lightweight construction. Value for money then, the RRP of £37 and the typical retailer price of about £30.55, somewhere around there, is very reasonable to me. It's no bargain like the Turbot was as far as I'm concerned, but overall it is very reasonable for a large, well detailed, and like I said at the start, almost completely unique looking tanker, at least in model form. So there it is, that is my overall score of 7.96 out of 10, so basically 8 out of 10. Let's pop that into the logbook. There it is in the top 5, 5th place above the Hattons RHTT and below the Oxford 12 ton. Yeah, if this is your thing, then I can highly recommend it. It's absolutely fine and it does what it says on the tin. And plus I love it, did I mention that? Well, there you have it then folks, that is the end of yet another rolling stock review, and I really enjoyed this one. It's very different from the rolling stock I've looked at before. particularly in its appearance. Yeah, that's been a real new experience for me. So I hope you enjoyed that as well. Do comment down below and let me know what you thought about this thing. Have you got one? Have you got one from the previous release? I believe mine is from the latest release. Were the previous ones any different at all? Yeah, I'd be very interested to know. For now though, once again, thank you for your company, and I will see you very, very soon for some more videos. Alright, cheers folks, you take care.